So again, we could be very specific where this risk area specifically is, and we'll take you down to street level of what we're seeing right here. This is going to be State Route 2 near the Bono Curve out toward Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge. That's going to include Reno Beach, some of the more popular marinas, Anchor Point and Meinke Marina. This does include, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, if you're north of Rocky Ridge on Route 590 or you're anywhere on State Route 19 coming up to Route 2, I do want you in your safe place as well, as you're typically or technically just outside the bounds of that tornado warning. It's a little too close to comfort. All right, we've got meteorologist Matt Willoughby in here. Matt, pass along what you got for me.
So we just got a report in of some train spotters that in Point Place that just saw some widespread wind damage and also some trees down. And we're talking 2-inch hail that was just in. And also in a third-party report, saw 4-inch hail just out in the Cedar Point Wildlife Refuge. So that was just reported in at 6:44, Chris.
All right, Matt Willoughby, if we have seen 4-inch hail, that would be the first time in my life that we've seen 4-inch diameter hail here in northern Ohio. So we will look to confirm that report, but it does say that has come in from trained spotters. Meteorologist Matt Willoughby with the assist on that. 4-inch hail, that was in and around Cedar Point Wildlife Area. That was a location we called out just about 20 minutes ago, giving you that heads up that there was some dangerous weather headed your way. So we've got the confidence now. We're going to stick with this one because we've got an active situation that is occurring right now that is giving us concern over not only the wind damage and the extremely large hail. We have had now reports of egg-sized hail, tennis ball-sized hail, and now perhaps hail the size of 4 inches in diameter, which is essentially unheard of here. Matt, you've got another update coming in for us?
Another update. We're just seeing this tornado warning include Oak Harbor into Sandusky and Port Clinton as well. So that is into Ottawa and Sandusky County as of right now.
All right, Matthew, I appreciate that update there. We've got another report coming in here of what has been considered major roof damage to an apartment complex in Point Place. So this is indication of what this storm can do. Matt, I'm going to have you get me times on that too. That tornado warning that is in effect for Ottawa and Sandusky County until 7:15. Current time right now is 6:46. 7:15 is when we've got that tornado warning that's in effect. That is in effect for, let's see, northern parts of Ottawa County and part of Sandusky County. We're going to get down to what you need to be doing. So I'm going to give a general overview. When we're in a tornado warning situation, there's a few safety tips that I want you to do. And I'll highlight this again. I feel like I've said it several times. If you're here in the Toledo Metro, you are all clear of this. This is not a risk for the Toledo Metro. We've had multiple reports of those outdoor warning sirens that have been sounding in the Toledo Metro. It is not a risk here in the Toledo Metro. Now, if you're in eastern parts of Lucas County and also parts of Ottawa and Sandusky County, we have a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado which is located near Oak Harbor and Rocky Ridge. All right, so these are a few areas that we gave you kind of heads up to just a few moments ago. So I'll set the stage of what we're looking at. This is really just a very large cluster of very significant thunderstorm that is likely still producing some very large hail as well. We'll get to the hail threat in a minute, but I want to make sure that we're getting our friends and our folks that are just joining us with the latest information on where we are potentially seeing the rotation of this tornado. So
that Cleveland did cancel the tornado warning for Lucas County, at least parts of Lucas County.
Excellent. That's good. Brand new information. And Matt, that is hot off the presses, literally just in the past 30 seconds. Appreciate that. That's what we do, is this public service to you. We get you that information immediately as it comes in. And as meteorologist Matt Willoughby just showed you, the tornado warning for Lucas County has been allowed to expire. We've got reports of funnel clouds, as we expected. And this is not just one report. So I do anticipate that these could be legit reports, that we're getting multiple reports of a wall cloud and potential funnel cloud. We've got reports now of wires and transformers that are down at Detroit and Alexis. So that's the north side of Toledo. We've got reports of the wires and transformers that are down. Let me get you to where the active threat is, and I'm going to show you right here. This is Route 590. We've focused heavily on this area, 590 and 163 coming into Oak Harbor. That is also Oak Harbor, State Route 19. 19. If you are anywhere along State Route 19, I want you from Oak Harbor up to Route 2, I want you to make sure that you are in your safe place. As we expect, that is where we're seeing the most significant rotation that will be possible. I'm just viewing pictures right now, this coming in from the Point Place area. It looks like we've got some trees that were just split in half, some evidence of some large hail damage as well, because I could see a lot of leaves or limbs that were just kind of shredded up by some of that larger hail. So that was in Point Place. Appreciate our news team as well gathering all this information. But here's exactly where we're seeing this. Matt, I'm going to switch over to our velocity product as well.
All right.
This is what we're going to be looking at here. I like to get very specific about communities that are seeing the risk right now, and it is from Rocky Ridge down to Oak Harbor. So this line from Route 163 right at the junction of State Route 19. I've driven this one several times, headed up toward Route 2. This is an area that we are actively seeing the rotation. This is where I want you in your safe place. I need you in your basement. I need you to be away from windows. I need you to locate that tornado safety kit if that's something that you and your family prepare for. And if you don't have a basement, I need you in an interior room or on the lowest layer of your floor or level of your floor. The rotation is just north of the Portage River. And if I could really pinpoint this one, that rotation is right around or just north of Oak Harbor on State Route 19, and this is going to go right along Route 163. Matt, what's the motion on this one? I think we're still operating on the assumption these are about 25 to 30 miles per hour to the east. Is that correct? Let's see. They've picked up a little bit, moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. So this is moving southeast. I love that our crew is doing a fantastic job giving you multiple different views here as well. Not only do we have Doppler radar, because I'll be honest, that's what we're here for, to break down how this looks and how it may be confusing at times for you, but also to show you as well what it looks like from the storm that actually came through the Toledo Metro that produced egg to tennis ball size hail that we've confirmed. Multiple reports of wind damage. I've got reports right here of wind damage. A Point Place, a Lexus in Detroit, a major roof damage to an apartment complex in Point Place as well. Our crews are going to be out there. Now that in the Toledo Metro, that it is safe for them to be out there, they're going to be out scouring what is going on. So just east of Oak Harbor, Matt, we've got the Ottawa County Fairgrounds out in that direction.
Yes.
So that's about, about 2 miles or so just east of Oak Harbor. You got the fairgrounds. If there's any activity going on, or maybe you use the Ottawa County Fairgrounds as kind of your geographic landmarker, that is approximately the area that I'm seeing this potential rotation, now just east of State Route 19, north of Route 163. We've got Harbor Landing Campground out there that's just in the vicinity of Ottawa County Fairgrounds as well. So I want you to be careful of that, as that is going to be headed now to the east-southeast. That is going to be headed over toward Route 2, just west of Port Clinton. So officially, we've got a tornado warning that's in effect. That is until 7:15 p.m. That is for Ottawa and Sandusky County. Brand new scan that just came across on Doppler radar. And in a situation like this, it's very common that we get brand new data showing up every 60 seconds. So that's why you're going to stay with us. That's why we're going to continue this tornado coverage, as we've got a civic duty to talk about and to relay any threats and risks that we see with a tornado warning. Once this risk is passed, and our active warning now goes until 7:15, and we have confirmed multiple rounds of damage, some large hail, egg to tennis ball size hail that has been reported, and perhaps even larger. We're going to investigate if we've seen hail that's been up to 4 inches in diameter. We can actually switch over to Max 2. I love the view that meteorologist Matt Willoughby has right now.
Yep.
Max 2, Matt, talk about the lightning threat with this as well. I mean, this is not a storm that you want to be out at all if you're anywhere in the vicinity of it. There are multiple threats with this.
Yes, correct. Yeah, of course, with this storm as well, we have lightning as well. We have pretty much over 100 lightning strikes with this storm, and pretty much adding to the total as you look at radar right now. And yeah, we have tons of lightning strikes, so make sure you want to head indoors, of course, as this approaches Clinton, Port Clinton, Danbury, and even into Margaretta. So yeah, of course, make sure you're in your safe spot, as we have tons of lightning strikes with the storm, Chris.
All right, meteorologist Matt Willoughby here on the team coverage and the assist. Want you to to avoid any windows if you are in this tornado path. It does include multiple counties. Lucas County, you are all clear of this in Lucas County. It is no longer a threat in Lucas County. This is specifically now for Ottawa and parts of Sandusky County. So where exactly is that risk? We can take you back over to Doppler radar, and I'm going to pinpoint where that risk is. Along State Route 19 into Oak Harbor. That actually extends all the way down into northern parts of Sandusky County as well, Route 163 as well. Anywhere from Oak Harbor to Port Clinton on Route 163, I need you to be in your safe point at this time. That is mirroring generally right along the northern edge of the Portage River, where State Route 53 comes in with Route 2 just southwest of Port Clinton, officially under that tornado warning. And we do have Port Clinton, the city of Port Clinton itself, actively under the tornado warning, although I will tell you this at this point, you still have time to seek your safe shelter in Port Clinton. The active rotation with this storm has not yet reached Port Clinton. So I do expect that if you are in Port Clinton, you need to be headed into your safe place at this point. The rotation is now just east of Oak Harbor. This rotation, and we'll take you back over to Max 1, this is smack dab over the Ottawa County Fairgrounds. That is exactly where we're indicating the rotation. East of Oak Harbor on Route 163, been passed many times. We're actively seeing the rotation there. So if we would have any bit of rotation, if we would have a tornado, and that, again, is a big if. Meteorologist Matt Willoughby, I want you back on communication with the National Weather Service right there. Just confirm that, make sure that we haven't seen any updates since we last checked it.
Yeah, we haven't had any updates
Perfect.
just yet. So, yeah, we're still seeing the last update was the severe thunderstorm continuing for Erie and Ottawa. So, yeah, no updates as of right now.
And these warnings are tagged, which means they add beneficial, important information. And the tag on this is just tornado possible. So we're not proclaiming that there is an active tornado that is on the ground. It is a tornado that is possible. Part of what we do with issuing tornado warnings is try to give you as much advanced warning that one could be happening. And when we see a signature like this, similar to what we're seeing just east of Oak Harbor, and perhaps a little contamination as we're getting farther away from the radar beam itself, this just indicates to me that we've got these varying colors. We've got colors that are now rising into this thunderstorm, and we've got colors that are wrapping around. This is a velocity signature. That would indicate that, those are the areas of rotation. So I do expect that the area that we'd be seeing the potential rotation would be right in this vicinity. That is east of Oak Harbor. Right over my finger here is where the Ottawa County Fairgrounds are. That is the potential of where we're seeing some of the rotation. So what has this particular storm been doing is it's made its way through Lucas County. We do have some pictures now that have come in from our viewers. All right, how about that for a hailstone? Holy smokes. That was a big hailstone. Looked to be almost tennis ball size hail. So it was a very large hailstone. We've got reports that it could have been close to baseball size hail. And again, in my opinion, that is the largest hailstone that I have seen here in northern Ohio. Reports that cars have been dented and damaged, and we have significant damage and wind damage up in the Point Place area. Officially at the time, there was no tornado warning in the Point Place area when this unfolded. There was not an active tornado warning. Once again, that large hailstone. And if we do have a location, feel free to get in my ear and tell me the location of where that large hailstone was. I do know this was Point Place. This was Point Place as well, where we've had, look at that wind damage there. I mean, ferocious winds that came through, knocking down very large trees and tree limbs. That was all the damage that was reported, and very large hailstones in and around Point Place. So this is still absolutely a storm as it poses an active threat now, a tornado warning that is in effect until 7:15, and that does include Ottawa and Sandusky County. We can head out back here to Doppler radar because I want you to have the latest. So we're all clear. If you are, I'm going to give you some brand new information. If we're west of Route 590, so take a moment and think about where you are out there toward Ottawa County. If you are west of 590, you are now in the clear. This is now moved east of you. So anywhere west of 590, I'm not ready to give you the all clear in Oak Harbor, although we're about to get an update as that blinking polygon is showing on the screen. We're about to get an update. Meteorologist Matt Willoughby will tell me when he's ready, if that is an update and what the actual update is. It looks like we still have the warning till 7:15, right, Matt?
Yeah, we still have the warning until 7:15. And then, of course, this is possibly capable of producing a tornado, and just 8 miles west of Port Clinton, moving east at 25 miles per hour as of right now.
All right, sounds good. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So I gave you that heads up. Route 163. It's a very familiar route. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Route 163 from Oak Harbor to Port Clinton. That is the vicinity of where we're seeing the rotation. That is along and mirrors the Portage River. So there's your Portage River. There's Route 163. It's somewhere in this area, now getting closer. That is the latest scan to Port Clinton itself. That is where we're seeing the potential for rotation. So if you have friends, family in the Port Clinton area, the storm is just minutes away. I want you to tell them, if they're not watching WTOL 11 right now, if they're not understanding the situation, if you could give them a quick phone call, let them know that this storm is headed into Port Clinton. It is coming right down Route 163. It is now moving east at about 40 miles per hour, so the forward speed on this one has picked up a little bit. And that particular storm that is right along the Portage River, Route 163, coming toward the junction. Look at this, the junction of Route 53 as well with State Route 2. That is another area of concern that I've got as well with the potential of rotation. I'm going to switch over to our velocity signature again. We're still at the point where it gets a little difficult in this area because radar coverage becomes a little bit more suspect. But generally speaking, this is the location that I'm looking at for the potential of some rotation that is occurring. So I could give you very specifics with this one. We're now east of Oak Harbor. We are west of Port Clinton, right in the vicinity of 163 as it comes in with Route 2. This bottom line right there, that is Route 53 as well, coming into the southwest edge of Port Clinton. These are all areas that are actively under the tornado warning. And again, it is the potential of a tornado. We've got Doppler radar indicated rotation that has been occurring within this storm for quite some time now. In addition to that very large hail, that is something that we haven't addressed for a little bit. So I want to switch over to an algorithm or a program within our Doppler radar that can actually estimate large hail size. I think you're going to be wowed by what we see right here, and you should be. 1 to 2 inches is what we're estimating this hail size to be on Doppler radar. But let me tell you about this, though. Doppler radar can only estimate so well. When we get actual ground truth reports that we've had baseball to tennis ball size hail, I would suspect that that is very likely still occurring right now. I am getting reports as well. Our news department, I can't tell you how incredibly hard they are at work right now getting viewer reports. And please continue to send them into our newsroom as well. This does help as well. We've got direct communication with the National Weather Service. We are always suspect when we get reports of pictures and video of what could be a tornado. So we do have that coming up in a little bit of a possible tornado that was reported in Point Place. When we get that, we will show it to you, and we will evaluate. Of course, we're not going to confirm anything on air, but in an active tornado warning situation, it's information that we feel that you do need to know and are certainly benefited by knowing what the potential is with this storm. Lots of thunder and lightning with this one, so I don't want you anywhere near it if you're outdoors or thinking of getting anywhere close to it. It is active for a tornado warning in Ottawa and Sandusky County. This does include Oak Harbor, although I do suspect now in Oak Harbor, even though you're technically in the tornado warning, if you're in your basement, you're still hearing my voice in Oak Harbor. If you're still hearing my voice in Oak Harbor, I'm going to tell you, you are clear of that active threat of a tornado. So no more risk in Oak Harbor. That is now east of you, but it is headed into Port Clinton. And I can't stress that enough. If you've got friends and family, it is not a confirmed tornado at this point, but it is an indication. We've got some signs that are showing some rotation that is possible within this particular storm cell that is now just on the west edge of Port Clinton. And I will tell you exactly where we're seeing that rotation. All right, here's State Route 2. There's the junction with Route 163. There's Route 53 coming in with State Route 2. Here's 163 that winds right along the lakeshore. Beautiful drive out there through Port Clinton. This is now just arriving in Port Clinton. So the time is now past of where you need to be in your safe spot. If you're not there and you're in Port Clinton, you need to get into your safe spot at this time. Yep, Matt?
Yeah, we do have confirmed information that a confirmed tornado was located near Oak Harbor, about 7 miles north of Fremont, moving at southeast 65 miles per hour.
Okay. Very helpful information. we've now confirmed a tornado, all right? So we've had that tornado confirmed. That was located near Oak Harbor. We talked extensively about that. So again, that information that came in, I'm widening Doppler radar out just a little bit because I've been focusing very heavily on this corridor. Remember Oak Harbor, 163 to Port Clinton? It was located right where we were talking about throughout the course of our coverage. That tornado, active tornado that we have now confirmed from the National Weather Service that was on the ground that is now east of Oak Harbor. Matt, we're getting a brand new update as well. I can tell that's coming in from that tornado warning. I assume that carries until 7:15.
Yes, correct, 7:15.
Perhaps they may extend that. Once we get confirmation of that, that takes it to the next level. All right, we have the video from Point Place as well. We can cue that up. We're going to show that really quick. And this is, again, sent in from a viewer. That very much looks like that potentially is a tornado. Absolutely. My first guess, look at that. That is incredible. All right, we can see that again. Let's rack that again, too, once it runs out. We want to see that again. So a couple things that we're seeing here. All right, so we've got clear circulation, we've got a funnel, we've got circulation, we've got contact to the ground, we've got damage, we've got debris. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you that's a confirmed tornado. That will be a confirmed tornado, and we could say that with clarity. That is just incredible video. We certainly hope that everyone is okay. We don't have any reports of damage at this, or any reports of injuries. So of course, there's damage. But that is, folks, I will tell you, that is a confirmed tornado. You can see it for your very eyes. We've got the circulation. We've got the funnel in contact with the ground. Look at the debris field. The debris field actually is spinning. That is not straight line winds. The debris field on that is spinning. Matt, do me a favor. Can you send that direct message to the National Weather Service just to let them know that WTOL 11 has confirmed with viewer video of a tornado in Point Place. Newsroom, if you can get the time of that video from where that was sent, that would be great. We'll relay that information. That helps greatly in the warning process because we're very likely to continue this warning with this risk ongoing. And again, you're seeing it right there on the right side of your screen. That is a tornado. I'm telling you, it was a tornado in contact with the ground. Same storm system then that we confirmed a tornado, so perhaps same storm or same cell that was kind of cycling through east of Oak Harbor along Route 163. We don't have any viewer pictures of that, and I want you in your safe place. I'll be clear about that. Now that we're ahead of this one and we're giving you that advance warning, I want you to avoid windows. I want you to get into the basement. If there's no basement, I need you in an interior room. And you know what? If you're one that's prepared, you got that tornado safety kit that's ready to go. You go find that out in the basement. It's got your flashlight, the extra pair of shoes, perhaps a bike helmet if you were down in the basement, something that keeps you prepared. It is something that you and the kids could do this summer to make sure that you are prepared for that. Tough look at Doppler radar here as we're getting close to the edge of our coverage here. As far as Doppler radar, we are right at, let's see, we're now just south of 163. So this has moved a little bit southeast, right along State Route 53 is where I'm looking at that. That's a brand new scan that's coming in. Let me break down what I'm seeing here because that's what we like to do. We like to give you the perspective of a meteorologist, what we're seeing when we're looking at this one. So we've got some air that is flowing up into this storm. That air is coming from Route 6 and coming from Sandusky County. It's some of that warmer, more humid air. It's ramping into this storm system, and the winds are rotating around this storm as well, back around State Route 53. So in the vicinity of State Route 53 and Route 2, all the way up to Route 163, this is where I've got reports or expectations that we could have that tornado on the ground. Also into that, this is some indication right here as well, and we may be able to get some data on this, what the estimated wind speeds are. It's querying the tornado warning. Bear with me just for a moment, and we'll see if we can get some brand new information. Okay, so we're getting a velocity signature on this one of 51 knots. So that is estimating wind speeds that is coming out of this particular storm at about 60 miles per hour. Let's see if we can get any higher totals, because I do suspect that we may be seeing higher totals. Okay, that's something that's concerning a little bit. So when we're evaluating rotation with this, we're looking at what's called gate-to-gate shear, which is an indication of where we see competing storm velocities. What does that mean? That's rotation, okay? So where are we seeing rotation? And we've got some indications not only that we're getting gusty winds, but the gate-to-gate shear of over 60 knots, which would indicate that we've got circulation that is occurring within this storm cell, and that circulation that is very close together, we call that gate-to-gate shear. That circulation is what we're seeing right now, gate-to-gate shear of over 60 knots. Let me just sample that again, just to make sure that we're getting good data. It's always good to double check. And similar. We're still getting some decent gate-to-gate shears, not quite as significant is what we're seeing. Matt, any updates coming in from the National Weather Service? It looks like we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. What's the latest on this one, Matt?
Yeah, so it's still continuing into Erie, Ottawa, and Sandusky County right now. And it was a correction with that tornado on the ground. It is moving at southeast at 40 miles per hour, not southeast at 65 miles per hour.
Okay, well, that's helpful. It's good to know that correction. But it is moving southeast, which is very important to know. That is going to be important as we get deeper into our coverage here. Again, active tornado warning, that is in effect. We still have that until 7:15, so the time has not changed on that one. It was last located along Route 163 east of Oak Harbor. So get your bearings on that, put your perspective on it. That's out there just east of the Ottawa County Fairgrounds. Frequent lightning with this one, so again, we're going to go ahead and, even though that's a risk, we're going to go ahead and wipe that off the map just so you're able to see a little bit more clearly Doppler radar. So there's been some trimming, so to speak, of where this active tornado warning is, and we're going to say it is now east of 590. So I told you that about 5-6 minutes ago. We're clear of that, but if you're still on or along or live near State Route 53, just northeast of Fremont, all the way to Port Clinton, that's a very long stretch of road. You are under that active tornado warning, and that is the vicinity of where we're actually seeing that active rotation at this time. This here is Route 6 that extends from Fremont out toward Sandusky. That is now in the active tornado warning. It is just south of where the active rotation is. But I do expect it to maybe seeing some rotation in that area. This extends really Oak Harbor, just outside of Fremont. You're north of Clyde. If you're in Clyde, you don't have any active warning right now, but up to Port Clinton encompasses all of the Sandusky Bay area. Over to about the Bay Bridge, right where Route 2 comes down over the Bay Bridge, is about as far east as that tornado warning actively extends up to. Reports coming in right now, over 7,000 customers here in the Toledo Metro that are without power in Lucas County. And I do expect that number may very well go up. A quick recap of what we have going on. We have an active tornado warning that is in effect at this moment right now. That tornado warning is in effect until 7:15, which is another 6 minutes. We're getting a report here. All right, so is that the Kroger, Mel?
Yeah, it's the Kroger near Suter and Point Place.
Okay, the Kroger near Suter and Point Place. We're getting reports of what looks to be some considerable damage in that area. Considerable damage from what we have seen now as well from a likely tornado. Very confident that we saw a tornado in and around Point Place. And at this point, 7,600 without power. So let's see this again. This was viewer video, and I can tell you that is a confirmed tornado. We could see the circulation in contact with the ground, a debris field that gets picked up, and not just picked up, that debris field gets tossed around in multiple directions in a spinning motion. That, in fact, was a tornado. We're going to see it one more time coming up here. This was from Point Place. Look at that as well as that video extends. We had a power flash there as well. This seems like it's a longer version of that. We had a power flash, which would also indicate that circulation snapping some of the power lines and transformers. Again, video from Point Place. You are seeing this live on WTO11, or rather from earlier, but with our live coverage. And there it is. That looks like a roof that was lofted off a structure there. So debris that was flung up into the air and kicked off. And now watch close. You're going to see a power flash that comes. Here it comes. As that tornado goes through, there it is, power flash, boom, hitting a transformer, some power lines, also knocking those down in the vicinity of Point Place. We very much hope. We don't have any reports of injuries at this point, but our news team is very hard at work gathering the latest information as we continue our live coverage of this active tornado warning and now confirmed tornadoes that have impacted our area. And at this point, it stands as what could be multiple tornadoes confirmed in Point Place and one now east of Oak Harbor. Harbor, where we still have an active tornado warning that does include Route 163 down to State Route 53 over the Sandusky Bay area down to about Route 6 and in the vicinity of Port Clinton as well. I do need you in your safe place if you are at this point. I do need you at this safe place. Avoid windows. We'll get in the basement. If no basement, interior room will work as well, and have your tornado safety kit. That is something that we preach, to have a tornado safety kit for situations just like this. You never really plan for these situations, but to have that ready to go in your basement is a crucial thing to have. So, tornado warning that is still in effect for, it looks like it's been extended now, Matt.
Yes,
What's
extended.
the latest? 712 just coming in, brand new information.
Yep, this has been, in fact, extended until 7:45. That is 7:45, moving east at 45 miles per hour.
45 miles per hour. Okay. We've got a report now on Facebook from Sandusky County. I'm just going to pass this along. We'll see if this makes sense. In my mind, it is Sandusky County report of a tornado on the ground, State Route 19. So let's go over toward, okay. So that would have been a little bit ago. That would have been State Route 19 right in this vicinity. You are now clear of that, but that does help us, because if we can pinpoint State Route 19 just north of Fremont, this is the area that we're specifically talking about, that we had a report in this vicinity just north of Fremont. That tornado moving east-southeast continues right along the trajectory, and it is headed now south of looks to be Route 53. So we're now moving south of Route 53. I want to circle back to our Port Clinton viewers, because I did tell you I want you in your shelter up in Port Clinton. I still want you there, because you are actively under the tornado warning. I want you to get in the basement. You can leave the TV on. You can hear my voice, and I'll calmly guide you through this. I'll let you know when you're all clear. Go ahead and turn that volume up. Get into your safe place if you are out in Port Clinton, anywhere, in fact, where those new tornado warnings that have come in, Matt. Those new tornado warnings are for Erie, Ottawa, and Sandusky County, and that is going to be in effect. Get the time on that for me, Matt, when you get until 7:45.
Yes, 7:45.
7:45. Multiple confirmed tornadoes, very likely that we've got multiple confirmed tornadoes that have been doing damage as well. I mentioned just a little bit ago out towards Suter Avenue, right by the Kroger, that we had damage. And this is just, it is incredible to see this. This is the damage up in the Point Place area, and if you could focus on the TV screen, if you are one that is in a safe place right now and you are seeing this, this is Suter Avenue. I would say considerable damage that has been done in this area. Crews that are on scene, assisting those in need. Our newsroom is hard at work at this point. We're very hopeful that there were no injuries. But this is why we do it, folks. This is why we are on air right now covering this active tornado warning situation. It is pictures and images like this. We live in Ohio and Michigan. We know that this can happen, but it is the reality of what we have to cover when we're faced with it. So an active tornado situation that is ongoing right now, based on the video, we're confirming that that was a tornado in Point Place based on our video that we saw. Very clear circulation and significant damage that was done. I want to set the stage of what we're seeing right now, and here's that video once again. And it really is just absolutely heartbreaking to see that that is a roof that is being lofted off. It is debris that is circling around that tornado. And as this video goes on, power flashes that were considerable. And we've got reports now of 7,600 customers that are without power in and around Lucas County.
Chris, we do have a new information coming in that expired tornado warning is for Ottawa and Sandusky. So that tornado warning has been canceled for Ottawa County and Sandusky County.
Okay, so where are we still in effect? It looks like we still have an active warning, though, Matt. That active warning, I've got to turn the layer back on. It is for Erie, Ottawa, and Sandusky. So we had one warning expire that was closer to Oak Harbor, Matt. That's what happened.
Correct.
This new warning that, Matt, you were the first to pass along just about 4 minutes ago. Hit that again, Matt. That is for these 3 counties. It is Erie, Ottawa, and Sandusky County at this time. 3 counties that are under there.
Yes.
The tornado or potential tornado now, we've had confirmation that we've had multiple tornadoes, was located in between Port Clinton and Vickery, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So in between Port Clinton and Vickery, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So this is the vicinity there. We are now in the vicinity of Castalia as well. We've got Route 101 that comes into State Route 2 as well. We've got Route 6 that comes in on the west side. This is right over by the Bay Bridge, the Thomas Edison Bay Bridge south of Danbury. If you're anywhere in this location, I do need you to seek shelter at this point. We're going to switch over to our velocity feature. And, I fear, Matt, that we may be looking at perhaps up to 2 circulations with this particular cell. One that's over Sandusky Bay and one that is north of the Ohio Turnpike. If you're familiar, obviously, you drive that Ohio Turnpike and you pass over State Route 101 that comes out of Clyde, and you're in the vicinity of State Route 412, just south of Route 6. It's a muddy picture on radar there, but it is an indication. And if we move that back in time just a little bit, I do suspect that there may be some rotation there. It's difficult to tell because Doppler radar isn't quite reaching the lowest level of where we need it to reach, but it would indicate that the potential is we may have a couple areas of concern, and that's one of them, just north of the Turnpike that is close to Vickery, headed up toward Castalia as well, north of State Route 101, south of Route 6, and that is north of the Turnpike as well. Potential rotation there. It's a little muddied up here toward the Sandusky Bay as well. At the very least, we may be getting very strong straight line wind damage with that wind that is coming off of Sandusky Bay that is now making its way over toward and eventually into Castalia. So we are far northeastern Sandusky County. Western parts of Erie County is where we're specifically focusing right now, of where we're seeing the potential of not 1 but 2 areas of rotation that will be possible. Lots of lightning again with this. It is an incredible amount of lightning, extremely large hail as well that has been occurring. We're going to use that feature once again that can actively estimate hail size. And I'll have meteorologist Matt Willoughby let me know if there's any additional reports. But Matt, we have had reports of hail the size of eggs, the size of tennis balls, and perhaps hail, Matt, the size of baseballs, correct?
Yes, that is correct, yes.
And we're still indicating, and I believe based on some of our reports, that these hail sizes are probably being underestimated. They're saying hail size about 1 inch in diameter, that's quarter to golf ball size hail. This hail that you saw right there, that is clearly much larger. That was closer to about tennis ball size hail. So that is another active threat that we have with this. In and around Port Clinton, over Sandusky Bay, and along Route 53, south and east toward Route 6. That is northeastern Sandusky County, and I'll tell you, anywhere really from Fremont, where Route 6 comes right out of Fremont, if you're generally traveling in that northeasterly direction, this whole stretch of Route 6 all the way out to Sandusky, I want you in your safe place. If you're one that lives in the vicinity of that or lives near that one, also State Route 101, especially north of the Turnpike. So State Route 101, north of the Turnpike, I want you in your safe place as well. You have an active tornado warning that potentially is showing rotation and confirmation of tornadoes that have been on the ground. The last confirmed tornado that we had was just east of Oak Harbor that was traveling to the south and east. It was traveling at about 40 miles per hour, and that continues to show the potential of some rotation as that continues to go. Let's see, what else do we have, Matt?
Yeah, so we just, of course, just saw that reading of pretty much a lot of lightning strikes with this, over 174 lightning strikes. And as I look at our Sandusky Bay cam, Shores Island as well, seeing a lot of lightning on that camera, the Shores Island camera. So yeah, a lot of lightning. So you already should be indoors if this storm is heading your way.
Absolutely. I would love to see any of those pictures we have. We've got looks up toward Put in Bay as well that we can kind of toggle back and forth between some nasty looking skies. That's the look up towards the Lake Erie Islands where the skies look ominous, don't they? They look pretty nasty at this point. With these storms that have been producing tornadoes, we expect that perhaps multiple confirmed tornadoes may very well result from this situation. We're going to keep a very close eye on that one as we expect that we may continue to see some areas of rotation that could possibly be doing damage and or continuing our tornado risk. So let's take this back over here. You can come on back out to camera here, and indications again. I was highlighting multiple areas, more than one area of where we could be seeing some rotation. This along Route 6, that is in extreme northeastern parts of Sandusky County, down to about Route 101, just north of the Ohio Turnpike. So these are a couple areas that we're actually seeing some active, broader rotation. That's going to be moving to the east as well. Out here in the vicinity, that's Castalia up there, up towards Margaretta, and eventually in toward Perkins Township and over towards Sandusky. The risk will be increasing for you as this one continues to track off to the east. We still have that active tornado warning, and that does now include Sandusky. It does include Cedar Point as well. That is a good measure of understanding where we are. If you have loved ones out at Cedar Point, I would give them a call and give them a heads up that a strong storm potentially is heading in their direction. So that is something we're seeing on radar as far as the rotation goes. Lots of lightning as well. The skies are absolutely filled with very vivid lightning. There are several hundred lightning strikes, very torrential rainfall. So if there is a tornado, it's very unlikely at this point that you're going to see it. It would be a rain-wrapped circulation, which would mean it's more so within the heavy rain and potentially hail. So I want you to be indoors at this point. I want you to be away from any windows. I want you to be in the basement as well. If you don't have a basement, we understand that. A bathroom, a closet, that will suffice, and that will certainly do. We are now up to 8,000 customers that are without power in Lucas County. That information just coming in from our newsroom as well as 8,000 customers. And you almost can follow that stripe right along the lakeshore from Harborview. We had reports of egg-sized hail. We were very, very specific down to street level with our coverage out toward Maumee Bay State Park, indicating that was where circulation was and where very large hail potentially was. And we still have active power outages. Now, 8,000 customers that are without power at this point, and I do expect that that may continue to climb as we go. Matt, if there's any information coming in, it looks like we've got a new issuance of a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yes.
This is going to be for several counties. Matt, why don't you go ahead and read those off?
Yeah, for the counties of Erie County, Huron County, Ottawa County, Sandusky, and Seneca, and that is until 8:15.
Okay, Matt, and that's got a tag on it as well. National Weather Service is saying what?
Possible.
All right, tornado possible with that, and the threat is considerable with that specific threat with that. So that is a severe thunderstorm warning, and we could take it on Max 2. Meteorologist Matt Willoughby has that up on Max 2. That is where we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that has now just been extended. And if you're anywhere from Port Clinton to Bellevue, this includes Erie, Huron, Ottawa, Sandusky County. Let me just give you a little bit of a heads up. When we see a threat that is called or labeled considerable, that gives us a little bit more concern, a little more confidence to say this isn't your average thunderstorm. This is a thunderstorm that carries a little bit more clout and carries a little bit more potentially of an impact. So I do want you to be very cautious of that as we are looking at a considerable threat with this particular storm as it moves into eastern parts or western parts of Erie County. So that is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning and a whole lot of lightning that is going on with that. All right, back over to our circulation. So we've got a few areas that we're watching just outside of Castalia. We're watching just west of Castalia. I know the colors on radar look a little muddied at this point. That is generally just indicating it's a very turbulent atmosphere. We've got some spin, we've got some rotation, and we've got now multiple reports of what we expect will be confirmed tornadoes across our area, including in Point Place. I do have information. If you are in the Suter and Benore area, that is shut down by law enforcement. That is shut down. That is the area that we're targeting right now of where we expect that tornado went through. Law enforcement that is on the scene has a Suter and Benore that is shut down at this point. All right, back over toward radar here. This is right along now the Sandusky and Erie County line. So that's exactly where I am. If you drive the turnpike and you cross the signs and it says welcome to Sandusky County, it is just north of that where we're seeing that circulation. So take State Route 101, that heads up right into Castalia. This is the area that I'm seeing the active rotation. We very well still could have a tornado on the ground, folks, at this point. We've had confirmed reports. The last confirmed report was out toward Oak Harbor, where we had a confirmation just on Route 163. This has been a long-lived supercell thunderstorm. And if we just show you what this storm has done over the past 1 hour, I mean, take a look at this. It was a beast of a storm. You know, and I do suspect as we dig deeper into this one, there's a lot of meteorology that's going on with this storm. We knew that there was a risk of some storms today, but what's unique about this storm, if we just take a moment to kind of take a moment to educate ourselves, is it encountered most likely a lake breeze. So a little turbulence with that lake breeze that aided in some of what we call that spinning, or helicity is the technical word for it. It actually aided in some of that spinning, and almost if you watch this supercell over the course of its journey, it almost has a little bit of a twist to it as it rides right along the lake boundary. So very unusual for that one really to kind of traverse the lake boundary. It could have enhanced some of the spin that we saw with this particular storm, indicating why we had a tornado out there toward Point Place, why we've had continued tornadoes that have occurred. Take a look at this video again. If you're just joining us, this is our coverage on WTOL 11. This was video from earlier this evening out in Point Place. I'm confirming this is a tornado. It was ripping a roof off. It was lofting debris into the sky. And it was, if you watch here, coming up in about 4 or 5 seconds, you're going to see a power flash as that tornado rips apart some transformers or some electrical wires. Boom, right there. Just shredding those trees. That's a grove of trees there. And again, continue to have Suter and Benore shut down by law enforcement due to storm damage that was reported in that area. One more time that you're going to see it. And we're able to do this. We're able to confirm that. Very clear circulation, clearly in contact with the ground, lifting a roof up, and not only just blowing that debris, it is tossing that debris around and around. And then as it goes on, a power flash that was reported. Matt, some new information in as well. We have a continuation of a tornado warning. Tell me what the latest is.
Yeah, so that tornado warning does in fact continue into Erie and Sandusky County, more into Sandusky County it is, and as well as into Erie County. That right now is located just near Castilia, just around 3 miles east of Victory and 9 miles southwest of Sandusky, moving at southwest at 40 miles per hour.
Okay, Matt, I appreciate that information. So I pledged to you that I was going to give you the all clear in Port Clinton when you were all clear. I will tell you now, if you're in Port Clinton, the risk of a tornado is now passed you by. So there's no risk of a tornado in Port Clinton. You are now free and clear of that. But just an example of what these storms can